With a grand total of 40 suits being present in Marvel's Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4, I thought it would be a fun idea to look back at all the currently released suits and rank them. One of my first ever videos was a top 15 list where I expressed which suits I wanted to see in the game, and so in this video, I'll point out which ones I predicted correctly. Hopefully this list remains definitive until the sequel comes out, but I wouldn't be against some extra free suits coming in future updates. Before we get started, let me just point out that this ranking is entirely my opinion. My list may be the direct opposite of yours, and that's okay. I don't hate any of these suits. In fact, they're all really unique and beautiful in the game. This list isn't meant to rank the suit powers, nor is it a ranking of my all-time favorite Spider-Man suits. This list is purely about how Insomniac made these suits look and how often I played in them. You could consider this video a sequel to my top 15 alternate suits wishlist video, so without any further ado, let's get right into it. Honorable mention, Peter Parker. Even though the Peter Parker model isn't an actual suit within the game, we do get to play as Pete several times in the main campaign, and slightly get to free roam as Peter in the Silver Lining DLC. I've never been too big of a fan when it came to playing as Peter Parker in previous Spider-Man games, mainly because those segments were very short or were entirely cut from certain games. But considering that the alter ego of Peter Parker has as much relevance in Spider-Man PS4 story as Spider-Man does, getting a Peter Parker skin in the sequel would be a meaningful inclusion rather than it simply being a cosmetic change. Number 40, Undies. Kicking off the actual list is my least favorite suit in the entire game. The Undies suit is definitely the most humorous outfit in the long list of suits and is even shown off at one point in the story, but I think it's a bit underwhelming when it comes to the payoff of unlocking it. Of course, the 3 chest hairs are a nice touch on the suit, and having this suit serve as the reward for 100%ing the main campaign is definitely a troll move, but compare the suit to the Ultimate Spider-Man's 100% suit. I would much prefer getting the black suit in that game for all my hard work over a quick little joke here, but I can't complain. They're no doubt saving the black suit for something bigger, and this suit was a fun little joke. Number 39, Spirit Spider. Now this might confirm a couple of dislikes since the Spirit Spider is one of the fan favorite suits in the entirety of Spider-Man PS4. I don't think it's a terrible suit, I just haven't played in it nearly as much as the other suits in the game. Besides, I wasn't ever a big fan of the quote-unquote Ghost Spider in the comics, and I'm not a big fan of the spider logos on the chest and back. However, what I do like about this suit is the name change to Spirit Spider because it just rolls off the tongue better. I also really like the blue flame surrounding the skull head, and it makes the suit feel more dynamic and alive from the rest of the alternate skins. On top of these little things I enjoy, I'm really glad that Insomniac isn't afraid to dive deep into Spider-Man lore to bring suits into their games. I can't wait for them to get even weirder and more obscure suits in the future. Number 38, Classic Suit Damaged. I was debating whether or not to put the suit above or below the Spirit Spider suit, but I decided to put it above simply because it's a rendition of the classic suit, which I really love Insomniac's classic suit design. What I don't love is this suit taking up its own slot in the suits menu. The main reason behind why I don't like this suit being its own thing is because of how similar it is to the classic suit. If this suit was more damaged, showing off major scratch marks, tears in the suit, and potentially revealing parts of Peter's face like other, better battle damaged suits from comics and movies, I would have been fine if the suit took up its own slot, especially since it ties into the opening sequence of the game, but considering the scratch marks on this suit are very tiny and the blue of the suit looks a bit scruffed up compared to the repaired classic suit, I think it's just a waste of a slot when Insomniac could have put in just a tiny bit more to make the suit stand apart from the classic suit. Number 37, Cyborg Spider-Man suit. Cyborg Spider-Man is in the same boat as the Spirit Spider suit and the damaged classic suit. I was never a big fan of the Cyborg Spider-Man design despite being a big fan of the 90s Spider-Man content, but I do think it being tied to the classic suit allows me to give it some leverage over the previous suits listed. What makes this suit better than the damaged classic suit is that we get to see some extra accessories on Spidey such as the headband, the eyepiece, the yellow utility belt, and the bandage wrapped around his thigh. It may not be damaged too much, but I do appreciate how grizzled the suit looks compared to the damaged suit. The pale red showing this suit's age and the ability to see sewing patterns gives the suit some credibility to stand apart from the damaged suit. Plus, that gigantic metal arm looks really awesome and actually ties into the Silver Lining DLC campaign. Number 36, Spider UK suit. I honestly haven't heard too much about Spider UK aside from him getting his start and being a major character in the Spider-Verse comic storyline, which is a run I really enjoyed. His suit is definitely one of the less recognizable Spider-Man suits, but I do admit that the Union Jack design of the suit is a nice touch, given the fact that he's the United Kingdom version of Spider-Man. At the cost of the Union Jack reference, we don't get to see a spider logo on the chest, but we do get to see a spider on his back, making this suit comic accurate. I really like the squinty eyes of the suit, and honestly, the eyes in the shade of red are probably my favorite parts of the entire costume, but I really hate the shade of blue used on the costume, as it's just way too bright. It does distinguish the suit from the rest of the classic inspired suits, but I think a paler shade of blue would have fit the suit more appropriately. Number 35, Fear Itself suit. I've never read the Fear Itself comic storyline, so for a few years, the Fear Itself suit was one of my least favorite Spider-Man suits because the design was atrocious. I still haven't read the Fear Itself run to this day, but after playing as this suit in Spider-Man PS4 for a short amount of time, and learning more about the overall suit, I might check it out. Some of my favorite Spider-Man suits are when those suits take inspiration from other superheroes in the Marvel Universe. With this concept in mind, the idea of a Spider-Man suit using the Uru metal that makes up Thor's hammer Mjolnir is a really cool concept, and the chainmail shown on the suit looks great. Despite that being the main thing I like about the suit, I do like the aspects of the Insomniac classic suit making its way into the Fear Itself suit, such as the expressive eyes. On top of the eyes, I think this suit looks really great at night due to the neon webbing. In the daytime though, this suit looks pretty terrible, and I honestly would have loved to see Spider-Man adapt those blade gauntlets into his suit power, but from a sheer cosmetic point of view, I'll only ever use this suit at nighttime. Number 34, the Velocity suit. Now we finally make it to the first Insomniac original suit in the entire game, and it just so happens to be the Velocity suit designed by Adi Granov. I'm not saying this suit is terrible. In fact, I think it was a pretty cool pre-order bonus for Spider-Man PS4, but when I compare it to the other suits in the game, this suit may look cool, but I personally don't think it looks as Spider-Man-y as it could, cause Spider-Man-y is a word. I think the neon spider logos and the outlines on the suit could be much brighter than what they are, and it would have been cool if the eyes were expressive by changing the shape of the neon lights, but aside from those complaints, I don't really have anything else to say about this suit. I like the Velocity suit for it being original, but when compared to other suits in this game's arsenal, I don't think it holds up as much as it could. If the blue neon on the suit was brighter, I think that could have boosted this suit up a couple ranks. Number 33, the Resilient suit. Here we have another Insomniac original suit that I like slightly more than the Velocity suit. Like the Velocity suit though, the Resilient suit doesn't have much going on when compared to other suits in the game, but I do think my love of the suit spawns from what Evan Filarca actually thinks of the suit. I remember in his top 5 worst DLC suits in Spider-Man PS4 video, he mentioned that the suit looks like a quote-unquote hybrid of fabric and armor. While he didn't like that concept too much because of how the suit looks in cutscenes, I personally think mixing armor and fabric is a really cool concept for a Spider-Man suit to have. On top of the concept of the suit appealing to me, I actually really like the squinty eyes, and I think it makes the suit stand out from the remainder of the alternate suits because of how squinty the eyes are. But what makes this suit better than the Velocity suit is that it looks more like a Spidey suit. The white webbing and the shade of red are tiny aspects I enjoy, but like the Velocity suit, this suit just doesn't compare with the remainder of the suits in the game, even if the design is really fresh. Number 32, Spider-Punk. Now I'll be honest, I was never a big fan of Spider-Punk in the comics, at least when it comes to the suit design. Considering that the Spider-Punk suit is pretty comic accurate, I don't like it as much as the other suits in the game, mainly because the suit never appealed to me from its creation. To me, this suit fits perfectly as a pre-order bonus like it did, as I could play as the suit at any time without having to unlock it. To me, this is probably the suit that I have the least to say on, because I just don't really have an opinion on it, but the reason why I rank it so high is because it does feel more Spider-Man-y than the other suits. I know some people like it though, but I don't really have much of an opinion on it, but it is cool how JJ reacts to Peter wearing the suit in-game. Number 31, the Bombastic Bagman suit. Now I'm a guy who appreciates the silly Spider-Man suits. Even though the Undie suit is my least favorite in the game, I can appreciate its inclusion in the overall product. The Bombastic Bagman is another silly Spider-Man suit that actually has some relevance behind it, as it's one of the more fan-favorite suits and was highly requested. Personally, I don't mind seeing the Bagman suit in a Spider-Man game, as it's not just funny, but it actually is a real Spider-Man suit, making it all the better. However, we've seen the Bagman suit so many times, and for those who watched my top 15 alternate suits video, I wanted to see the Fantastic Four Spider-Man suit over this one, despite them being nearly identical aside from the bag. I can't complain though, since this was part of the recent free update, and the Fantastic Four costume looks really good, and I like how Insomniac added the Spider-Lens shapes around the eye holes on the bag, but I think what keeps the suit so far down on this list is the exclusion of the Kick Me sign. Number 30, the Spider-Clan suit. Now here's a controversial pick. The Spider-Clan suit, also known as the Mangaverse Spider-Man, is either one of the most hated suits or it's one of the most beloved. I'm honestly split on it. I really like the cartoony/anime tone of the suit, and the overall design is pretty accurate to the comic counterpart of the character. However, I think the head is shaped a bit weird, and I would have preferred if the backpack actually had straps around Spidey's arms, but man, those eyes look really good. In terms of comparing this to the Shattered Dimensions version of the Mangaverse Spider-Man suit, I think they're both good looking in their own ways, and I really love the cartoony style of the Spider-Clan suit here. It just makes me want a spectacular Spider-Man suit in the sequel even more. Number 29, the Homemade suit. In my top 15 alternate suits wishlist video, I technically wanted this suit in the game, but I completely forgot that it was already announced alongside the Iron Spider suit, so I technically predicted it correctly, but I won't count it as it was already announced. Some people may be surprised that the suit is so low, but I'm pretty adamant on the fact that it deserves its place. I liked the homemade suit as it's a reference to the Scarlet Spider suit, and I liked Homecoming as a movie, but I was never really too big of a fan of its design. It just felt goofy to me in comparison to the other origin suits, which was its purpose, but even in a game like this, the suit still looks goofy. It is pretty cool that we can only unlock it by getting all 55 backpacks in the game, and I think that gimmick boosted up a couple of spots. Besides, this suit wasn't really a surprise since we already knew Homecoming suits were going to make it into the game, so to me, this suit is just an extra addition to the game that I think is cool to have, and it has a cool gimmick, but I wouldn't fight to have it put in the game if it wasn't already planned. Number 28, the Wrestler suit. Now, the Wrestler suit is in the same boat as the homemade suit, as both suits are quote-unquote origin suits from their respective Peter Parkers. I'm a fan of all the origin suits each rendition of Peter Parker uses, but my personal favorites have always been the Human Spider from the Raimi movies and the Ultimate Wrestling outfit. Because I grew up reading the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, I was pretty excited to learn that Spider-Man PS4's Wrestler outfit would be near identical to the Wrestler outfit from the Ultimate comics, so because of my connection to that series, I prefer it over the homemade suit. But let's be real, the Wrestler suit is simply just a Wrestler suit that Peter used during his origin story. It's essential to the Spider-Man story, and it's a cool alternate suit to include in the game, but aside from further establishing the world of Insomniac Spider-Man, there's nothing too special about it. Number 27, the Spider Armor Mark IV suit. Moving from Peter's most basic costume, let's talk about one of his most advanced costumes from the all-new, all-different comics. Personally, I wasn't a big fan of Peter being a CEO-type figure like Bruce Wayne or Tony Stark, but I thought the suit looked pretty cool. The sharp edges of the red portions really stuck out to me, and I thought the glowing green eyes and green outline of the Spider logo was a nice design to have. It pleases me to say that the suit is comic accurate in the game, and in certain lighting, I think the armor design of the suit looks really gorgeous. I've always been a fan of the different Spider armors, and in concept, this suit is the most advanced out of all of them, despite looking near identical to the classic suit. In my top 15 alternate suits video, I only really wanted the Mark I armor, but I mentioned how I'd be perfectly fine if all 4 armors made it into the game, and thankfully, all 4 of them did, but what this suit has over those other 3 is how dynamic the lighting bounces off of the suit. I can't express how gorgeous the suit looks at times. Number 26, the Aaron Eichmann armor. The Aaron Eichmann armor is one of the suits on this list that I was never a big fan of from the comics, but unlike the Spirit Spider, Fear Itself, and Spider-Punk suits, the Aaron Eichmann armor feels the most like a Spider-Man suit and fits the tone of Spider-Man PS4 perfectly in my personal opinion. Considering there's plenty of armors in the game, I actually think the suit stands out from the rest of them with its futuristic looking design, and Insomniac does a great job at making the suit leap off of the pages. I do love the main 2 triangular eyes on this suit, but I don't like the other spider eyes around his helmet, even if it does tie into the fact that spiders have 8 eyes. This suit is definitely fun to look at when swinging around, and there's honestly not much else I can say about it. It just looks really cool. Number 25, the Future Foundation suit. This was one of my honorable mentions in my top 15 alternate suits video. I wanted to see the Future Foundation suit in Spider-Man PS4, whether it be the black or white variation, and I'm very glad to say that Insomniac did a great job at accurately recreating the suit. However, Insomniac does take a few liberties when it comes to their alternate suits, and I think the little lines on the suit give it more of a realistic depth, rather than having it be simply smooth all the way around. My main issue with the suit is actually the eyes. While they look accurate to the suit from the comics, they're very reflective, and in the daytime, it throws me off from the remainder of the black on the outfit. When I first saw this suit, I actually thought the eyes were a bit buggy. Number 24, the Dark suit. I never knew I needed this suit in a Spider-Man game until I heard about it in Cbake76's Top 20 Alternate Costumes Never Seen in Spider-Man Games video. Originally coming from a Spider-Man and Deadpool comic storyline, the dark suit makes its way into Spider-Man PS4 through a Black Cat side mission, and even though the majority of the suit is dark, as the name implies, I really like how Insomniac updated parts of the suit to make it more visually appealing. Besides, the red eyes, the red spider logos, and the red hourglass symbols on the palms look extremely cool, so the suit was definitely a surprise to see in the game, because I had no idea it existed, nor had any idea that it was a relevant suit. I really love using the suit in stealth missions alongside the noir suit, by the way. Number 23, the electrically insulated suit. Another one of my honorable mentions for my top 15 alternate suits video, and I was very glad to see the Electro-Proof suit make an appearance in Spider-Man PS4. The Electro-Proof suit, or the electrically insulated suit as it's called here, has made several appearances in recent Spider-Man titles, but for some reason, seeing it appear in Spider-Man PS4 made it feel fresh again. It's very fitting that we can use it when chasing after Electro during the raft sequence and during his fight alongside the Vulture, but I think this suit really gets to shine during one of the research station missions where you have to go dodge lightning bolts, so I think the fact that this game has plenty of opportunities for role-playing in this suit inclines me to include it as high as I did, as it's one of my favorite lesser-known Spider-Man suits. Number 22, the Stealth suit, aka the Big Time suit. The Big Time Stealth suit is one of the more popular Spider-Man suits to be created in recent years, and I'd be lying if I say I didn't like it. As much as I would have loved seeing another colored variation of the suit, such as the blue or orange versions, the green neon of the stealth suit is no doubt the most popular of the three. My main reason for liking this suit is how luminescent it is at nighttime, and much like the Fear itself suit, this suit looks absolutely gorgeous at night. It's one of my favorite suits to use in bases when I can sneak around and attack. However, what differentiates it from the Fear itself suit is that it doesn't look terrible in the daytime, so it's not restricted to just that period in the day. Number 21, the Scarlet Spider 2 suit. Finally, we're getting down into the costumes that I actually predicted for my top 15 alternate suits wish list. Kane's Scarlet Spider outfit has always been one of my favorite suits out of any Spider character because I really love the mixture of black and red. The blood red eyes always stick out to me, and the black logo on Kane's red chest, with the red spider logo on the black portion of his back, is one of the suit's best design choices. I would have ranked this suit much higher if Insomniac didn't include their own little tweaks to the suit that bump the overall likability of the suit down a few notches. It's very nitpicky to say, but I just don't like the red lines running through the black portions of the suit's mask and shoulder area. One of the major things I liked about Kane's suit was how the red and black portions were clearly separated, but here it feels like there's even more red to the already overpowering amount when compared to the black. I do like how the suit was named Scarlet Spider 2 though. You don't see many things call Kane's suit by that name. Number 20, Into the Spider-Verse suit. Uh-oh, here's another controversial spot, but hear me out. I loved Into the Spider-Verse, and I really love the movie's design of the classic Spider-Man suit. My main issue with the suit is that the belt is a bit too high, but other than that, it's one of the best incarnations of the classic suit we've ever seen, ever. Serving as one of the game's few cartoony CGI suits, the eyes on the suit are actually expressive, which is something that I really like. While I would have wanted to see Miles' costume in the game, I understand why they didn't put it in, as they plan on doing something special with Miles in future games. But despite that, and because of the suit being another one of the game's incarnations of the classic suit, this suit should have been more identifiable, and personally, I think adding the sweatpants from the movie would have pushed that uniqueness over the edge. Number 19, the ESU suit. While I don't think the undies suit is worth all the hard work put into unlocking it, the ESU suit is much more deserving of being one of the game's tougher suits to unlock, which may sound a bit hypocritical. This suit is the closest we got to seeing Peter Parker as an official suit, and maybe it's just because I'm currently in college, but I like the idea of Spidey swinging around in a casual outfit repping his college, with nothing protecting his identity aside from his mask. Like I said, it may be hypocritical to put the ESU suit so high, with the undie suit being the lowest suit on this list, but I honestly just think it's more fun running around in casual clothing than in just your underwear. Plus, it felt more rewarding obtaining this suit as you actually had to go out of your way to unlock it. Number 18, the Spider-Man Noir suit. Now, I'm a big fan of Spider-Man Noir. I love his comics, I loved him in Into the Spider-Verse, and most importantly, I love his characterization in Shattered Dimensions. Shattered Dimensions is actually how I was opened up to the world of Spider-Man Noir, and because of the creativeness of his dimension, I grew into loving his costume despite how basic it looks. Despite how much I love the character and how much I love the suit in general, I can't help but say that I haven't used the Noir suit in the game as much as I've wanted, because there's just so many other shiny costumes to unlock. Don't get me wrong, I love using this suit in bases and stealth missions, but I think this suit is just overshadowed by the picture-perfect version of his suit from Shattered Dimensions. Number 17, the Iron Spider suit from the MCU. Serving as the final pre-order bonus, the Iron Spider suit from the Marvel Cinematic Universe is actually one of the better suits in the entire game. Personally, I like using this suit in the night because of how intimidating the glowing eyes look, but before the game released, I was pretty hesitant about this suit because I prefer the suit's colors being red, gold, and black, rather than red, gold, and blue like most people think it is and like how the game presented it in the first trailer. Thankfully, the game fixed this and darkened the navy blue portion of the suit, so at some points in the game, it looks black like it should be. Before I started unlocking more suits in the game, this was actually one of my favorite suits in the entirety of Spider-Man PS4 because of how accurate it was of the suit seen in Infinity War. And I can't deny that this suit looks even better with the spider legs, but remember, this is not a list ranking the suit powers. Number 16, Spider Armor Mark II, aka the Bulletproof suit. Surprisingly, not many people like the Mark II Spider Armor in this game because of how similar it is to another suit in the game, but personally, I've always been a fan of Spider Armors, and I like how the suit looks this time around. In previous games, the suit looked very bland because the black on the suit looked very gray, almost bluish, but this time around, the suit is displayed in its entirety. I really enjoy swinging around in the evening with the suit as the sunlight reflects off of the suit nicely, giving it a shiny feel to it, which is what you would expect from bulletproof armor. Sadly, I can't really express why I love this suit so much, I just do. Is it that collar? Maybe. Is it the mixture of black and yellow? Probably. My love for this suit is just undescribable, and you have to see it to believe it. Number 15, the vintage comic book suit. Now, I debated with myself on where to put the vintage comic book suit in this list. Ultimately, I had to recognize how amazing the suit looks no matter the time of day thanks to its CGI look, but I didn't place it as high as it could have been because of the suit's design itself. Like I said throughout the video, I love Insomniac's design for the classic suit, but when there's a large abundance of classic suits in the game already, you need to differentiate it from the rest of the suit selection aside from making it CGI. This suit is literally just the classic suit that you start the game off with, but it's cartoony. The shadows on the suit move around like a comic book, yeah, but unlike the title suggests, the suit is not vintage because it's just a CGI version of the Insomniac classic suit. I would have preferred if the suit was based off of Steve Ditko's design, John Romita Sr.'s design, or even the design of the 90s Spider-Man by Todd McFarlane. That would have made it vintage. Number 14, Spider Armor Mark III, aka the Ends of the Earth armor. Despite my want for the first Spider Armor, I wouldn't have minded the other 3 Spider Armors making it into the game, which at the time of this game's release was pretty funny considering that the latter 3 armors made it in with the exception of the first Spider Armor. However, out of the latter 3 armors, my favorite of them is no doubt the Ends of the Earth armor, better known as the Mark III Spider Armor. In my opinion, I like this suit for the very same reason as the Aaron Eichmann armor, as it's very futuristic looking but still ties back to its core colors of what a Spider-Man outfit should be. Like the Mark II Spider Armor, I can't really describe my love for this suit, you just need to see it to understand how beautiful it looks, especially in a free-roaming game such as this. Number 13, the Anti-Ox suit. Remember how I said that the Spider Armor Mark II looked very similar to another suit in the game? The Anti-Ox suit is that exact suit that I was talking about. The main reason why I like this better than both the Mark II and Mark III armors is its overall inclusion in the game's story. Its similarity to both outfits, and it looks freaking beautiful at night. For those who love the advanced suit in the game, they can thank the Insomniac gods and goddesses as the suit carries many similarities over from that suit, along with the additional neon lights on the eyes and spider logos. Besides, in the final fight, this suit even gets damaged so you can see the advanced suit underneath, so it's sort of a 2-for-1 special at that point in time. Honestly, I think that would have been a much cooler damaged suit than the actual damaged suit that we got. This is no doubt one of the better Insomniac original suits in the game, and honestly, I hope the suit gets added in the sequel. Overall, my favorite part of the suit is how it ties into the story throughout the main campaign, and is supposedly made from the same material as Doc Ock's arms. Number 12, the Last Stand suit. Something that caught me by surprise was how outstanding the last suit turned out to be in Spider-Man PS4. Like I said with the ESU suit, I love when Spidey mixes casual clothing with a Spider-Man outfit, and no other outfit does it better than the Last Stand suit. I love how gritty the original comic is and how well this suit ties into the grittiness of nighttime stealth missions, along with fitting in the calm daylight. The Last Stand suit appeals to me a lot more than other suits in the game because it feels like a costume that anyone could create, and that's perfectly displayed here in a realistic looking game such as this. All you need are some sneakers, some black jeans, a red coat, a black marker to draw a spider symbol, then get yourself a mask and boom, you're one of the most grizzled Spider-Men to walk the face of the earth. Number 11, the Spider-Man 2099 white suit. For those who watched my top 15 alternate suits video, this was actually my second most anticipated suit as I felt like the suit was the perfect balance of personal hype and had a high chance of getting into the game. Prior to this game's release, I figured the all-new, all-different Mark IV armor was guaranteed to get in, but due to Spider-Man 2099's ever-increasing popularity through his all-new, all-different comics, I figured now was the perfect opportunity for this new white suit to make it into the game. I honestly don't have much to say aside from sheer shock that this suit made it into the game. It's just so beautiful to look at and it looks outstanding in the daytime. It's one of my more used suits in the entirety of Spider-Man PS4 because of my connection to the character and the sheer beauty of this suit's futuristic model. Number 10, the classic suit repaired. Breaking into the top 10, there was never any doubt that the repaired classic suit would make it this high. Insomniac did an outstanding job at creating a unique design for the classic suit, and personally, I loved everything they did with it. Everything from the sharp legs on the back logo to the tight compact front logo to the shape of the eyes and how expressive they are, this is no doubt one of, if not my most favorite classic suit design. This suit serves as the foundation for every other classic suit iteration in the game, and the uniquely shaped eyes are used in several other established costumes such as the Secret War suit, the Cyborg Spider-Man suit, and the Fear Itself suit, making it more believable that these are the suits that this version of Peter would create or use because it references the design of the classic suit in this reality. I have yet to do a full playthrough of the game using just this suit, but I want to do that eventually just because of how simple yet effective this suit's design is. Number 9, the Spider-Man 2099 black suit. Yes, this suit is blue in the game, and we all know that Spider-Man 2099 has a blue suit in modern media, but initially, Spider-Man 2099 suit was black and red. Anyone who has read the 2099 comics understand why Insomniac named this suit this way, and thankfully, Godzilla Mendoza explained this trick with shadows in his Spider-Man retrospective videos, so now it's common knowledge that Miguel's suit is black, despite it usually being shown off as blue. With that little explanation out of the way, I actually wanted to see the 2099 suit in this game despite it being one of the most included suits in any Spider-Man game ever, but I simply love Miguel as a character and his original suit design is one of my favorite suits in any Spider-Man comic, so there's no way I wouldn't want to see it shown off in another free roaming game. Thankfully, Insomniac did an outstandingly well job with how this suit looks. I love how sharp the suit's eyes look, and even though the back symbol is gone from Edge of Time, it's hardly noticeable like the Kick Me sign from the Bagman suit. Number 8. The Stark suit. I originally predicted this suit in my alternate suits wishlist video, but considering that it was basically guaranteed that we were going to get the MCU suits in the game, I'm not going to take too much pride in predicting its inclusion. When I first saw the suit in the second trailer for Captain America Civil War, I lost my mind at how amazing it looked, and this game made the suit look 10 times better than it did in Homecoming. I'm not sure how, but Insomniac did it. Everything about this suit is accurate to the one in the MCU, and the name fits, as it would have been weird calling it the Homecoming suit or the Civil War suit in my opinion. This suit is perhaps the most realistic looking suit in the entire game, and is no doubt one of my most used suits because of this. It just looks really good in the daytime, evening, and especially nighttime. Number 7. The Negative suit. I originally included the Negative Zone suit in my honorable mentions back in my wish list, but that suit is nowhere to be seen in this game. Instead, we get to see one of the coolest suits that I initially thought I wasn't going to love all that much. When this suit was first leaked as a Funko Pop, I thought it was going to tie into the story at some point, but it actually doesn't. It's just a simple cosmetic that has the same art style as Mr. Negative and the Demons. Despite this suit being a simple cosmetic and having the exact same design as the Advanced suit, I decided to switch into the suit whenever I had a boss fight with Mr. Negative, and I was shocked at how those fights were improved due to the simple suit change. If it weren't for the Mr. Negative boss fights, I don't think I would have put the Negative suit as high as I did, despite how cool the suit looks. But my improvisation of including it in the story campaign made the overall experience of the game and the impact of the suit much greater. Number 6. The Advanced suit. How could I not put the Advanced suit as high as I did? The Advanced suit is no doubt my favorite Insomniac original suit, as it's grown on me over time. During the E3 2016 trailer that was actually shown off on my birthday, the suit looked really odd to me at first, but as I kept up on news about this game, the design of the suit really stuck with me, and I thought the original design that it had was really cool. It separated Insomniac's Spider-Man from the rest of the incarnations of the character, and I think it was that identifiable suit that allowed people to see this game as its own thing, leading to how successful this game turned out to be. Currently, the Advanced suit is one of Spider-Man's more popular costumes, as we're seeing it in not just this game, but in comic books too, cementing the idea that this version of the character is just as unique and interesting as any other comic incarnation of the character, if not more interesting. Number 5. Spider Armor Mark 1. Ah yes, here we're getting into my absolute favorite suits in the entire game. Even though the Mark 1 Spider Armor barely made its way into the 15th spot on my wish list, this is no doubt one of my favorite Spider-Man suits to ever exist. I love this suit simply because of how many other games incorporate it into their suit selection, and I love this suit because of how simple its design is, because the color combination of silver and black is beautiful to me. I just love how nostalgic the suit is. I actually own the original comic that the suit came from because of how much I love this suit. Not many other people will agree with me, but I think this being included as DLC led to me buying all 3 chapters along with another suit that's higher on this list. In terms of the suit's appearance though, it's just really shiny, reflective, and it's the one armor that truly looks both effective and stylish in combat. Number 4. The Secret War suit. The Secret War suit was my 3rd most anticipated suit in the game, and after I unlocked it for the first time in the game, I was really excited and shocked about its inclusion. Oh, we got a new suit? Oh, snap! We got the Secret War suit! Not many people like this suit, and I can honestly see why. The colors don't mix all too well, and the suit just looks messy. Despite this, it's one of my favorite obscure Spider-Man costumes, and it actually incorporates all my favorite colors, which are blue, black, and orange. In Spider-Man PS4 though, the webs are red rather than orange, which is a better design choice, and despite that change, I think it allowed the suit to be better liked by the public. That little design change wasn't too nitpicky though, like my dislike for the red lines in Kane's Scarlet Spider outfit. Overall, this suit is very obscure, and the fact that I get to use it while swinging around the city for the first time ever is truly a memorable event for me. Number 3. The Iron Spider armor from the comics. Let me just warn you, the rest of the suits on this list I all predicted on my wish list, even if they were free updates or paid DLC. Let me just say though, the Iron Spider armor from the comics is my favorite alternate Spider-Man suit in any Spider-Man comic ever. I like it more than the black suit, which may be shocking to some. Because of how much I love the Iron Spider armor, seeing it as part of the Turf Wars DLC alongside the Spider Armor Mark 1 suit was very overwhelming. I knew the DLC had me locked in as a customer at that time, and this suit quickly became one of my favorites in the game because of my connection to it. Like I've said throughout the video, Insomniac has taken some creative liberties with already established suits, and while I don't like some, I think they outdid themselves with the Iron Spider armor. Originally, the armor looks very plain and smooth in the comics, but Insomniac decided to give the armor a design similar to the nanotech armor Iron Man used in Infinity War, which ties this suit together with the MCU Iron Spider suit, aside from name and concept. It's beautiful how much this suit looks like armor Iron Man would actually make in this reality, similar to how the Fantastic Four suit used with the Bagman costume is very unique to that team of this reality. Number 2, the Scarlet Spider suit. One of my favorite suits in the entire game is not an unlockable suit that you earn late in the game, nor is it DLC, but it is in fact one of the first few suits you unlock upon playing the game. Because of how much exposure I've had to the Scarlet Spider suit in this game, it quickly became one of my favorite suits, and as I continued unlocking more suits, it remained one of my more favorites because of Ben Reilly being one of my favorite Spider people, and the overall look of the suit is amazing. Insomniac kept the basics of what made the Scarlet Spider suit great and didn't update his most iconic accessories, but instead added designs to the red spandex that gives more volume to the overall costume. Number 1, the webbed suit, aka the Raimi suit. How could my number 1 most anticipated suit not be my most favorite suit in the entirety of Spider-Man PS4? Despite the backlash Insomniac received over their initial exclusion of the suit and the immature behavior of those who harassed Insomniac's employees over the suit, I never lost anticipation for this costume, nor did I ever lose any love for it. I wanted to see the suit because it was the suit that I grew up with. It was the suit that I played with most in previous Spider-Man games, and seeing it remastered in the game was truly a spectacle. Everything about this suit is 100% accurate to the costume shown off in Spider-Man 2, cause the original movie did have a different design, and I can't thank Insomniac enough for fighting through the backlash and delivering on their best suit. To me, this is the best suit in the game because of how much nostalgia I have for the suit, the movies, and how much love I have for Spider-Man as a character. The web suit may not be called the Raimi suit, but I can't thank Insomniac enough for fulfilling my wishes of Spider-Man PS4. Here's to Spider-Man PS4 2, where we'll hopefully see an endlessly higher amount of suits included in that game. There we have it, everyone. That's my official ranking on all 40 suits that are currently in Marvel Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4. Spider-Man PS4 is no doubt one of the best games I've not just played, but experienced, and Insomniac is truly the best company to tackle a large property such as this. They have such respect for the character, the license, and the world around Spider-Man that makes me want to see more no matter the creative decisions or the changes that they make to the suits or their stories. I'll be making a video in the coming months talking about my wishlist for suits that we didn't get to see in Spider-Man PS4 that I want to see in the sequel, and I'll talk more about what that game can potentially give us in terms of story. Until those videos, thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope this video was entertaining to all of you. If you disagree with my list, give me your own list in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. Overall, I correctly predicted 9 suits with a couple of others that I mentioned in my top 15 alternate suits wishlist video, so that's pretty good, right? Maybe since I'm kinda psychic, you should subscribe to my channel to see what I predict for Spider-Man PS4 too. I'd appreciate any and all support. Anyways, guys and girls, I'll see all of you in my next video. Later, everyone.